Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some important signals your body might be sending you about your heart. Your heart is the engine that keeps everything running, and when it starts to struggle, it doesn't always send the most obvious warnings. From chest pain to fatigue, your body has subtle ways of telling you that your heart might need a little extra attention. In this video, we'll be covering 8 key symptoms that could indicate your heart is in distress. So stick around and make sure you don't miss any of these crucial signs. Chest pain or discomfort. Your heart is a muscle and needs constant oxygen and nutrient supply to work properly. If it's not getting enough, it can get cranky and sending distress signals. One common reason for chest pain is something called coronary artery disease, CAD. It's like a traffic jam in the blood vessels that supply your heart with all the good stuff it needs. When those vessels get clogged up with gunk, like cholesterol and fat, it limits the flow of blood to your heart, and that's when the trouble starts. There's been lots of research and studies that show chest pain, especially if it comes and goes, could be a sign of heart problems. It's not something to brush off. Sometimes it's just a little warning, and you can make changes to your lifestyle, like eating healthier and exercising, to help your heart. But in some cases, it might need more attention from a doctor. So, if you ever feel chest pain or discomfort, don't ignore it. Get it checked out and let the experts decide if your heart needs a tune-up. Remember, it's the only heart you've got, so take good care of it. 2. Swelling. When we talk about swelling, we're usually talking about edema. It's not the swelling you get when you stub your toe. It's more like when your ankles, legs, or even your belly start puffing up like a balloon. That's what we're focusing on here. Now, why does this happen? Well, when your heart struggles to pump blood effectively, it's like traffic jams in your blood vessels. As a result, blood cannot move along quickly, especially in the veins of your legs and feet. So what happens next? Some of the blood and the watery part of your blood, known as plasma, starts to leak out of your veins. It's kind of like when you overfill a glass and the extra spills over the edge. This leaked fluid collects in the nearby tissues, causing them to puff up and swell. That's why your legs, ankles, and sometimes your belly might get all swollen. It's because of this extra fluid hanging out where it should not be. The most common places for this swelling are your feet, ankles, and legs, but it can happen in your belly too. 3. Fatigue. So, you know that feeling when you're wiped out, like you could sleep for a week? Well, sometimes that fatigue might be your body's way of waving a red flag about your heart. When your heart is not pumping efficiently, it can lead to less oxygen getting to your muscles. And when your muscles don't get enough oxygen, they get tired. But it's not just the tiredness. Sometimes, people with heart issues might also feel weak or dizzy. That's because when your heart is not doing its job properly, it can mess with your blood pressure, making you feel lightheaded. Another thing to keep an eye on is whether fatigue suddenly appears or worsens with physical activity. That's a potential warning sign. Your heart should be able to handle everyday tasks without making you feel like you ran a marathon. 4. Nausea or indigestion. You might not think that nausea and indigestion have anything to do with your heart, but surprise! Sometimes they can be a sneaky way your heart tries to get your attention. Your heart and your stomach are neighbors, kind of like those friendly neighbors who borrow sugar from each other. When your heart is not happy, it can send signals to your stomach, and your stomach, being a good neighbor, reacts. Issues with the heart can mess with the blood flow in your body, including the blood flowing to your stomach. This disturbance can irritate your stomach lining, causing nausea or indigestion. Now you could be asking, is it my heart or that spicy taco I ate? Well, it's not always easy to tell, but there are some clues to keep in mind. If your nausea or indigestion is accompanied by other heart-related symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, or lightheadedness, it's time to pay attention. Studies have shown that people who experience nausea or indigestion with these other symptoms are more likely to have heart problems. 5. Irregular heartbeat. Your heart is supposed to go lub-dub like clockwork, but sometimes it starts doing the tango. It might skip a beat, add an extra one, or just dance to its funky tune. Now, why does it go all irregular? Well, sometimes it's just a blip caused by stress, too much caffeine, or not enough sleep. But there are times when it is a bit more serious. Your heart relies on an electrical system to coordinate its contractions. This electrical system can malfunction, causing irregular heartbeats, also known as arrhythmias. Studies have shown that arrhythmias can be linked to heart issues. In simpler terms, if your heart starts dancing to a weird beat, it's like a warning sign that it needs some attention. A simple checkup with your doctor can help figure out if there is a deeper issue lurking beneath the surface. Your heart deserves to dance to the right beat after all. We've made it halfway through our list, and we sincerely hope you've enjoyed it so far. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. Let's move forward with the video. 6. Cold sweats. You know that feeling when you suddenly break out in a cold sweat and it's not because you just ran a marathon or had a spicy meal? Well, sometimes your heart can be behind this strange occurrence. Your body is pretty smart and knows how to communicate when something is not right. When your heart is not pumping blood efficiently, your body can freak out a bit. It tries to compensate by releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which are usually reserved for situations when you need to fight or run away from danger. And one of the things these hormones can do is make you sweat. But it's not the normal sweat you get from exercise or hot weather. It's more like a cold, clammy sweat that comes out of nowhere. So if you ever find yourself suddenly dripping with a cold sweat for no apparent reason, it might be your heart trying to send you an urgent message. Cyanosis. It's a fancy word for something quite easy to spot. It's when your skin or lips turn bluish. Now, why would your skin turn the color of a Smurf? Well, it's because your body might not be getting enough oxygen. And guess what? Your heart plays a big role in making sure your body gets the oxygen it needs. Here's the deal. Your heart pumps blood around your body, and that blood carries oxygen to all your cells. But if your heart is not doing its job well, like if it's struggling to pump or there's a problem with the blood vessels, it can slow down the oxygen delivery. When there's not enough oxygen in your blood, your skin and lips can start to look bluish. Cyanosis is not just something you can ignore. Your body's like, hey, we have an emergency. It is a red alert. It's telling you that your heart might not be working right and not delivering enough oxygen to your body. So if you or someone you know suddenly turns blue, it's time to call for help and get things checked out ASAP. 8. Pain in other body parts. Sometimes your heart can play a little game of hide and seek with its signals. Instead of making your chest hurt, it might send pain to other places, like your arm, jaw, or even your back. Why does it do that? Well, it's because of something called referred pain. See, your heart and these other body parts share the same nerve pathways, so when your heart is happy, it can confuse your brain, and the pain signals might get mixed up. This can be a real puzzle to figure out because you might think it's just a sore muscle or something else. But if you ever experience pain in your arm, jaw, or back that doesn't seem related to any injury or physical activity, it's worth paying attention to, especially if it's accompanied by any of those other heart warning signs we discussed earlier, like chest pain, shortness of breath, or nausea. Your heart might be playing tricks on you, and it's better to be safe than sorry. And that's a wrap for today's video. We hope you found this information useful and that it gives you some insight into how important it is to listen to your body. If you experience any of these symptoms, don't ignore them. Get checked out by a healthcare professional. Your heart is vital, and taking care of it should be a top priority. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and ring that notification bell. Stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one.